Tales from the Darkside, Season 3, Episode 8, A Serpent's Tooth, about a mother who is granted powers over her children, and also features the most 80s entrance of a character in existence.
Nice.
So Pearl King is having trouble getting her kids to listen to her. Her daughter is a real punk rocker and is hanging out with the bad boys. And the writing here is a lot sharper than we would get in a normal Joel Selbo type episode, since this really feels like a Joel Selbo episode. It revolves around a family, they're a bit loud, and the mother ends up getting magical powers, which happens in almost every Joel Selbo episode. But this one's written by Edith Swenson, and so there's more of a bite to it. My favorite Edith Swenson story so far was The Caspian Curse. This one's more of a comedy one, but there's actually a couple decent lines revolving around the mother telling her daughter not to have sex in various ways.
Why should the farmer buy the cow when he can get the milk for free?
That's disgusting.
Don't come back unless everything is intact.
So she wants her kids to listen to her. Her son, she wants to become a dentist, while he wants to go into agriculture, and she thinks that's a worse career change, and she's correct. And as I mentioned before, her daughter, Madeline, is a punk rocker and hanging out with the bad crowd, and just won't listen to her mother, and wants to go out and party and do sexy things with her boyfriend.
Where are you going? You know, Myron's coming over to talk to you.
Oh, please. I mean, what could that geek possibly have to say to me?
That's no way to talk about Myron. He's a very wise man.
3 years later, police makes the same allegations again! You idiots!
Okay, maybe I accidentally got the wrong Myron. So she's given this serpent tooth by a friend of hers, and all she has to do is tell her kids what to do, and the serpent tooth will make it happen. It also makes things disappear from the house, like the VCR, the TV, the radio. She tells her youngest son that if he keeps sticking her tongue at her, his tongue's going to get stuck. And that's exactly what happens. So with this newfound power, Pearl King gets a bit, I guess you could say, power hungry.
Like a grand lady. Madeline, remember to clean the bedrooms. A little housework never killed anyone.
Mark, I'm afraid of her. Where'd she get that thing around her neck?
Myron, it had to be. You know, Mom told Aunt Rita that she'd blow up like a balloon from drinking that diet soda. Now she's floating over New Jersey.
The mother becomes power hungry and turns her daughter Madeline's boyfriend that she hates, Barry, into a slice of bread. So Barry's gone. He's not going to bother them anymore. He's now a slice of bread that they keep in the refrigerator. So this episode is making 2 points at the same time, which is that kids should listen to their parents, and also parents can be too overbearing, or in this case, power hungry. Because the mother, Pearl King, loves having this serpent's tooth. She just says for something to happen in the real world, and it just ends up happening. You also see a change in the appearance of her son, Mark, and daughter, Madeline. Madeline goes from a punk rock chick to a proper woman. And same thing with Mark. He gets a little upgrade too. Well, he gets a dorky upgrade. Kind of looks like a dentist. But she's gone too far, turning Madeline's boyfriend into a slice of bread, and she decides to not completely give up the serpent's tooth, but put it away for a little while. She'll take it off since she wears it as a necklace, and she'll take this necklace off and just hide it away in the cupboard. And at the end, we see her family go back to their old ways. Once again, this episode is saying that there really isn't any enforcement mechanism. Kids will continue to disobey their parents. You would think they would learn the lesson that she still has this serpent's tooth that she can activate at any time, but no, Madeline goes back to her being a punk rocker and hanging out with the boys late at night. Now, what you might think is going to happen is that she's going to use this serpent tooth and everything's going to go back to the way that it was, where her kids are proper. But actually, she ends up turning herself into a pillar of salt by saying these very words. And to Tales from the Darkside's credit, I was prepared for them when this scene happened to just have the ending be a pillar of salt on the ground, where the crew just poured salt on the ground and go, yeah, that's the mother. But they actually don't do that. They actually make a entire salt construction of the mother, Pearl King, that looks like the Tales from the Darkside version of Han Solo being cryogenically frozen.
See you later, Mom.
Later, Mom.
What good children. It was worth it.
And this is actually quite an impressive monster and set piece. I only see it briefly, but it's a good way to end the episode, where you show they actually put in some effort. And while she is a pillar of salt, she can still talk kind of. So I guess they still have their mother around that they can pat on the head, and she still has some facial features. I don't think she can move though. So really it's the mother that gets her comeuppance at the end, overusing her powers. Her kids are acting up, but she's getting too crazy with this serpent's tooth and basically turning them into slaves, having them clean the house, and then turning her boyfriend into a loaf of bread. Nah, not even a loaf of bread, a slice of bread. He's not even good enough to be a loaf of bread. So I'm going to give Serpent's Tooth a low 5. It's an average episode, but taking out some of the funnier parts, it definitely would get a lower rating. It's not one that's like amazing, but there's enough good parts in this to be a watchable episode. Some actually funny jokes, and a message that goes both ways. Obey your parents, and also parents, don't get too power hungry over your kids. I like that message. I think that sounds good. So Serpent's Tooth, you get a 5. Mother of Pearl King is played by Renee Taylor, who I recognize from the series The Nanny that ran from 93 to 1999. She actually played the mother of Fran Dresser. That crazy laugh. Her son Mark was played by Brett Marks, who was in The Bad News Bears as Jimmy Feldman. And I just learned there are actually 2 sequels to the movie The Bad News Bears. I have seen the 1976 original. There's 2. 1977, The Bad News Bears in Breaking Training, and 1978, Bad News Bears Go to Japan. There's something new every day. That's wild. Next up is episode 9 of season 3, Baker's Dozen. One written by George A. Romero, and it features singer/actor Mabel King in a great role where she chases a guy around calling him a rat. And we get an actual really good performance in Tales from the Darkside. Check out our playlist for all episodes of Tales from the Darkside, Black Mirror, Fear Itself, Monsters, Mystery Science Theater 3000. We're doing all of them. Cowboy Bebop and Pet Shop of Horrors. Thanks a lot. See you next week.
My Valentine, still my heart don't keep on beating. You will know where I've been hiding, so be the one I need for a long time. Have an emotional stare of the wrong kind.